about, just not letting him get so many easy open shots.
Huskers with the ball here to start the second half. Go with their original starting 5. Burke Buyutengel back in for Nebraska. Mast in the corner. Working inside. Turnaround jumper on the baseline. Jamarcus Lawrence there for the tip-in.
Yeah, BYU did a really good job of defending a lot of actions for Nebraska. Forced kind of a tough shot, but credit Lawrence. Just use his athletic ability to get on that offensive backboard and get the putback.
Travel on Saunders gives the ball back to Nebraska. Jamarcus Lawrence and Rick Mast played on the team that went to the NCAA tournament, very familiar with playing with each other. Nice feed inside from Mast to Buyutengel.
So there you see the adjustment. So they switched the ball screen. So Mast short rolls it, catches it kind of in the mid post where he was able to find, Burke Buyutengel rolling to the rim on the backside. So good adjustment.
Saunders fake, no good. Lawrence gonna push. Pulls it out over to Mast. Mast for 3. 6 for 6. Picks up where he left off in the first half.
And Coach Young actually starting Boscovich just as a little bit more mobile defender. You could just see Boscovich like, Coach, I got there with my hand and I just couldn't get him to miss. Just kind of shook his head as Mast is having one of those games.
Davis with the bucket back on the other end. Jacobson inside. Kick out. Sanford. Nice take and finish for Bryce Sanford.
Yeah, good job by Jacobson. Just that paint touch, play off 2 feet. And then Sanford again, scouting reputation has him as a really good open 3-point shooter. Shot fake's one of the best moves that you can do. Lifts his defender, gets to the basket with a tough finish.
Ibanza inside. Off the block, puts it back up.
Yeah, 2 really good athletic plays. Buyutengel with the block, and then Ibanza just stays with it. Gets the easy putback for his 20th and 21st points.
Lawrence, kick out to Sanford. Working on Saunders. To Jacobson, Buyutengel swings it over to Lawrence. Step back 3, short. Kostic with the rebound.
Yeah, another good half-court possession for BYU. Forces the late, tough 3-point shot by Lawrence.
Kostic for 3. Buyutengel with the board.
Yeah, good job by Nebraska. Blocking out, securing the defensive rebound.
Lawrence over to Jacobson. Sanford for 3. That's good.
Good action there. Jacobson kind of ghosts the ball screen, and they run a little pinch screen on the backside for Sanford. Was able to get him a wide open 3-point shot.
Sanford into double figures with 10. Saunders, another travel. Huskers have done a good job defensively on the Cougars returning leading scorer.
Yeah, again, Jacobson does a nice job. Just kind of fighting that drive from Saunders. And Saunders has a little different role this year, right? You've added some pieces, where he's probably trying to figure out where his shots are going to come from.
Mast gets.
Right now you don't have Wright on the floor for BYU, which will play a lot of minutes at their point guard position. Coach Young's looking at some different lineups here.
Besiegin in for Mast after he draws the foul.
Got number 6, Kostic, is playing some early minutes in this second half. Again, as much as these coaches are competitors and, they'd love to see that final score favoring their team, I think there's a bigger picture here, and they, both are looking at some different lineups and some different personnel.
Saunders on Sanford. Kick over to Besiegin. Besiegin in the lane. Up and in.
you know, again, it's something little, but you know, normally when a guard drives it to the rim, you have to play through a second line of defense with a rim protector. But when your bigs, you know, like Mast and even Berke can step out and shoot, you just open the floor. You have to be able to go out and guard them, which then allows your guards to drive and not have to finish against that second level of defense. So, you know, it doesn't show up on the stat sheet all the time, but just 4s and 5s challenges.
Lawrence out to Sanford. Back over to Lawrence. Preseason for 3. Drains it.
Yeah, that's a tough shot for Connor. You know, very, very good step-up 3 shooter, but that one was off the dribble going left.
Falling down.
Good range.
Kostic responds on the other end.
A nice answer by BYU there to keep it at 6.
Preseason. Back-to-back for Connor Preseason.
Again, a shot fake, just such a weapon for players if you can.
We got a whistle here. Jamarcus Lawrence.
Yeah, Lawrence
picks up the foul.
Kennard Davis just kind of got tied up. Neither wanted to kind of let the other one go, and they're going to call a foul on Lawrence.
Preseason up to 14 points, 4 of 7 from 3-point. Inside to Saunders, reverse layup is good.
Yeah, good job by Coach Young getting Saunders involved. Nice little sideline out of bounds play, and that's one of those things that I think if this was the season and the game mattered, Nebraska probably wouldn't have fell asleep on that through scouting. You would have known that was probably a play that they were going to run, but it's such early in the year, you just don't have a lot of data and stuff on the other team, and BYU executed that for the basket.
Offensive foul on Saunders.
Yeah, I feel like Saunders has been much more aggressive here in this second half, just looking to kind of probe and attack. They kind of, that's a tough one. If he didn't get called for the charge, he probably drug his pivot foot. It would have been a travel. Good job by Lawrence, kind of staying in front of Saunders. But I think, you know, if you just look at having right off the floor, you're kind of using Saunders a little bit more as a driver and a creator.
Braden Fragers and Hoiberg in for Nebraska. Side to Jacobson. Tries to get it over to Butenjo, but throws it out of bounds. BYU basketball.
Yeah, right idea by Cale there. Just instead of trying to play through that length and size, you know, got double teamed, was trying to dump it off to Butenjo, and just Butenjo wasn't ready to receive it. Just didn't quite see it early enough. It's now Nebraska's 7th turnover.
66-59, Nebraska leading, approaching the 14-minute mark. Kebaketa back in for BYU as well. Kennard Davis Jr. Kick out to Diamande, 3, short. And they're gonna get Connor Preseason on the box out.
Yeah, you see the length of BYU. They've really got a, you know, Keita came back off the bench. They've got Boop playing as well. Davis, just a really long physical group. Preseason kind of held on the block out there. And Nebraska's, you know, for the first time really don't have Lawrence in as your primary ball handler.
Bonza over Preseason. There's a offensive rebound.
Again, just Nebraska getting a little out physical on the backboard with this lineup.
Bonza inside. Denied by Butenjo. Here come the Huskers. Frager, kick out to Garcia for 3. That's good. And a takeaway.
With the steal, the heads-up play.
Preseason jumper, rims in. Huskers on a run. Preseason is fired up. 71-59, Nebraska on top. And BYU wants to talk about it here. What a stretch.
In the first half and then has not played. Playing DeBonsa as the point guard. He speaks to his continued versatility and skill.
10 on the shot clock. DeBonsa here, 4-3, inside the lane, inside to Boop. Good play there. Time winding down.
Yeah, just really good poise. Again, gets himself into the lane. He could have jumped up and probably shot a tough 15, 14-foot pull-up, but instead finds open teammate.
Heat check for a Sejan. Got a whistle inside. Garcia picks up the foul. Third team foul for Nebraska.
You know, that's what Nebraska needs their bigs to do, though. They're playing Garcia and Buttengel together. Go get on the offensive backboard. This is probably one of the most physical pair that they can play. As their posts, trying to match the physicality of BYU's front line.
Buttengel on DeBonsa. Called him for the foul. Crowd doesn't like it. Been impressed with Buttengel on the defensive end today.
Yeah, again, we went to break there just to finish, but as a defensive post, they can switch him on to different matchups. He's really good in the ball screen, whether you're in drop coverage or if he needs to hedge or switch. So his versatility allows Coach Hoiberg and Coach Linser to do a lot of different things on the defensive end with teams that ball screen. I think he's improved as an offensive player. Last year, coming off of that ankle sprain, never really got himself back into rhythm offensively, and I think you'll see more out of him this year.
Boop with a strong board and puts it back up. 8-point lead.
But he's made a couple defensive plays in this game that just, shows you his ability against, really talented A.J. DeBonsa.
Hoiberg kick out to a Sejan on the drive. Nice bounce pass to Buttengel and one.
Tremendous, just overall basketball player. High IQ, really, I haven't seen him defend, against like legit players. I mean, that's, he hasn't been asked to do that in this game, but from an offensive package, just everything you'd want to see. Versatile, strong, quick, good vision, good shooter. Seems like a great teammate, always kind of in control. So certainly a lot to like.
5 on the shot clock. And a foul is called on the baseline on Garcia. DeBonsa's played 26 minutes here today, too.
Yeah, certainly young body, right? He can wear his mask. I think Rink might be done for the day. I don't know what the goal for Coach Hoiberg with Rink, but playing 17 minutes in that
Again,
first
coming
half,
off the injury. Hadn't played in over a year.
I had a feeling the second half would maybe play out a little different in terms of what coaches are trying to get out of the game. And
but it's good to get some other players going, as we've seen with Mass on the bench. Frager on DeBonsa. Knocked away by Hoiberg. Loose ball. Saunders comes away with it. Draws the foul. He'll head to the free throw line. Sam Hoiberg just gets his hands on so many basketballs.
Yeah, I think it's a combination. I mean, Sam's a really good athlete, right? He's got good quickness, but more than that, I think he's a well-studied. He understands the game. He's a fifth-year player. He saw that he kind of blew up that. If you go back and watch that highlight, he knew that screen was coming, where he was able to blow it up, get to the inside of it, And just credit Saunders. Saunders is a crafty veteran too. He kind of stayed with it, collected the loose ball, and got himself to the free throw line. But
rare miss from Saunders there on the first free throw.
Yeah, was over 80% from the hardest feat in as an offensive player is to be in the 90-50-40 club. That's 90% from the free throw, 50 from the 2, and 40 from the 3. He was in the 80-50-40, which is still really elite club. And there he misses 2 free throws, which is, as an 80-plus free throw shooter, that's probably won't happen again this season.
I was going to say not going to happen very often. Kick out to Frager. 10 on the shot clock. For to Hoiberg. Hoiberg on the drive. Kick out to Mass. 4-3. 7 for 7. What a return for Rick Mass back to Pinnacle Bank Arena. Devonta back on the other end. Quiets the crowd.
Yeah, we're seeing really 2 high-level performances here today. I mean,
quite the duel.
I mean, Mass hits the 7-3, and then you see Devonta's just athleticism getting out, running that left wing and attacking the rim effortlessly. But again, Coach Sam Hoiberg drives in, gets the 2 feet. There you see the foul, but the previous possession, and then BYU has no understanding of where Mast is, and I looked over at the BYU staff, and they're just so frustrated. It's like, the one player that you can't not find on the court right now is Rick Mast, and again, just early in the season, great teaching points that these coaching staffs will do a good job of allowing their kids to improve as the next couple weeks go by before it counts for real.
Bryce Sanford, Jamarcus Lawrence back in for Nebraska, along with Kendall Blue. Lawrence on the drive. Can't get it to go. BYU at the board.
Yeah, good job by Mass. He kind of was able to kind of seal and allow Lawrence to drive in and have a chance to finish that. Just couldn't get the layup to drop.
Saunders for 3, knocks that one down. Cuts it to 8, 76-68.
Yeah, get Saunders into double figures now with 11.
Oh, his first miss of the day. Blue. Loose ball out of bounds, Nebraska basketball.
Yeah, good effort by Nebraska, but that was Mass' probably most difficult 3 of his attempts. And then I really like it. Lawrence, as a senior, makes the extra pass and gets Blue the open 3, and then just the commitment for everybody going in and rebounding. Was able to save the possession with the deflection out of bounds.
12 on the shot clock. Lawrence on the drive. Nice feed to Mast. 2-pointer for Ring Mast. Easy lay in there.
Again, Lawrence, senior point guard. Nice
they play
job.
well together. Kick out. Saunders for 3. Misses everything. Crowd's going to let him know about it. Kostic for 3, knocks it down.
Yeah, Kostic's second 3, hit one from the right corner, that one from the left corner. Kind of quiets the Nebraska crowd.
Taken away by Boop, but a little aggressive. Foul called on Rig Mast.
Yeah, good job by Boop. Just really forcing Mast off the block, using his athleticism in that denial, and then Mast, kind of held Boop on that loose ball and was caught for the foul.
17 fouls, so BYU going to be in the bonus from here on out. 8:16 left in the second. 7-point lead for Nebraska, 78-71. Hadim Boop to the free throw line. Knocks down the first one.
Yeah, just Nebraska's 7th turnover for the game. Just kind of looking at rebounding stats here. BYU is 9 offensive rebounds, which I think that's an area that in the second half BYU's done a really good job of being more active on the backboard.
Boop 2 for 2. He's into double figures with 10. redshirt freshman, redshirted last year, joined the team in December. So lots of young talent here for Kevin Young. 5-point game, inside. Ringmast all alone.
Yeah, BYU is switching now. That Mass is at the 5, and Nebraska's, it's called a split action. That time Nebraska slipped it with Mass, and BYU just not able to defend it. Really good offensive basketball for Nebraska.
23 team assists on 29 field goals.
That's incredible. You have to be really happy with that, and speaks to the culture that they have. Rink kind of agreed to come back and rehab from that knee injury, and potentially come back for the 7th season. I'm sure Coach Hubbard's really happy now after watching this performance, and just a really efficient game. He's not only has scored it well, 29 points, but he's also opened the floor. He's got 3 assists. They've put him in some screening sequences that have opened up things for other teammates as well.
Huskers break the full court pressure. Sanford, nice, take and finish on the left-handed side.
You see Frager's, length and athleticism. Really like his ability to impact the game. With his length, ability to drive it.
8 on the
very
shot
capable
clock.
Shooter.
Kostic for deep. BYU with another offensive rebound. There's a 3 from Boskovic.
Yeah, really big possession for BYU. Just chased down that rebound. And then that 3 cuts it back to 6. Probably disappointed for Nebraska to not finish that possession with a good defensive rebound.
Frager draws the foul on the floor.
Nice action by Coach Harburg there. Puts Frager in the middle of the floor. Left-handed, gets him going to a strong hand. Just nice execution, putting your players in situations to be successful.
Cougars with 5 team fouls, so Huskers take it out of bounds here. Out to Rink, open lane. Up and in. 84-76. Saunders for 3. Rims out. Nice hustle
great
play.
hustle.
Bernard Davis Jr. gives BYU another look at it here. Boskovic, kick out. 3 on the way for Diamande, off the mark.
Yeah, good hustle by Davis to get that possession back, not able to capitalize with the open 3. And Nebraska did a better job of blocking out and securing the defensive rebound.
Season on the tape. Kicks it out to Mast. Oh. Little behind the back pass there from Mast and goes out of bounds. Turnover here.
But even that last layup that Mast had, just the game seems to be slow for him right now. Just was able to kind of go up through traffic, and even that play, just the confidence to kind of throw it behind your back to a Season. Coach Harburg, I know he wasn't a big fan of it, but yet it's hard to, be critical of what Mass is, giving you in his, short time here at Nebraska. But, even in this game, you got to give him a ability to continue to make plays for this offense.
Butengel in for Mast. There's the double team on Davis. Takeaway by the Huskers. Sanford going to bring it up.
Yeah, Davis picked that dribble up in a tough spot, but credit Butengel, really came over with aggressive double team, didn't let the ball out, creates the turnover.
Lawrence floater in the lane is short, comes up with it, out to a Season. Season for 3. He almost had too much time to think about it.
Yeah, he was going to pass it. It's like, shoot it. He don't get open that often. So great job by Season knocking it down.
Season up to 19, 5 triples.
Nebraska back up to a 9-point lead.
87-76, under 5 to play. DeBonsa.
Just, I don't know if people realize how hard that play was. Just the poise to split the double team.
He makes the hard look easy.
I mean, it was just to not panic and know that was, you know, most kids will, their players will throw the ball out before the double team gets there. He let the double team come and then anticipated being able to split it and then hit a tough shot off the backboard. Just a tremendous play.
Sejan too strong on the jumper.
I think they're going to try to keep the ball in DeBonsa's hands here would be my guess.
And a foul on Price Sanford. Again, BYU in the bonus.
Yeah, again, I think Nebraska, Coach Hoiberg does more with analytics than anybody. You know, he's got things statted and, you know, from tempo to offensive efficiency to mid-range shots. And, you know, the one thing that I think going back on this is Nebraska has fouled too much. They had 9 in the first half and now 7, 16 fouls, putting the other team in the bonus is something that he'll discuss. You know, are there some of those fouls that you can eliminate? You know, you want your team to be aggressive and you're certainly going to foul, but keeping people off the foul line is so important, especially if you're going to play a high possession game. This is, maybe 16 fouls in this game isn't terrible because just the amount of possessions that both teams have had. But as you get into the Big Ten, certainly that's a stat that's important to follow.
Davis 2 for 2, cuts it to 7. Boop checks back in. (87-80), approaching 4 minutes left here in the second half. Comes the screen. Lawrence to a Sejan. Sejan bounce pass to Butengel, can't get the layup to go. 3 for Kostic, too strong. Battle inside, Hoiberg comes down with it. Sejan on the take, draws the foul. Almost got that one to go down. He'll head to the free throw line. Been impressed with the Sejan, getting himself to the rim. He's hit 5 threes, but he's done a good job being aggressive inside.
Yeah, and that's, once you get into, the games that people have you scouted, they know he's a good shooter. So he's going to be able to put it on the floor just like he's doing and, make some layup.
Too strong on the first free throw.
Yeah, now 7-10 for Nebraska for the game. BYU's been to the line 19 times.
20 points for Connor Sejan. 8-point lead for the Huskers.
And Jacobson back on the floor. Hoiberg, Coach Lawrence, a couple of your better defenders. Berke now at the 5.
DeBonsa draws another foul. He'll head back to the free throw line. Although his first free throws here coming up for the second half. He's 5 for 5 in the first half, so his first trip.
Yeah, I think, that first half, really found offense, scored for himself, transition threes. He'd been, a little bit more of a facilitator in this half. Not passive, but just, really good passer. Has found his teammates for some baskets. I think late in the game, you'll see him, try to take over, maybe, go make the play that BYU needs him to make to either finish games or in this situation, try to get them back into the game. There you see his ability to get to the foul line. You cut it back to 6 here. BYU just needs to stop. You get a stop, a bucket, and another stop, and you're going to have a chance for this game to play itself out over the last couple minutes with a chance to win on the road.
DeBonsa up to 27 points, 7 for 7 from the free throw line, 88-82. 3:15 left to play in the second. Sejan for 3. Can't get that one to go.
Yeah, same play that Coach Hoiberg got Sanford the 3. Came back with it with the Sejan. Again, a good look, good execution, just not able to knock it down.
DeBonsa too strong on that one. Mass pulls down the rebound up to a Sejan. Marcus Lawrence going to get it all set.
Sorry, Jessica. Pretty good defense by Hoiberg there. Just kind of stayed in front, walled up. You know, Devonta still was able to get a really good look at the rim, just couldn't get it to drop.
Lawrence on the take. Devonta with the rebound. Goes coast to coast and one. .29 for Devonta. Head to the free throw line, try to make it a three-point play. 88-84. 2:23 left in the second.
Yeah, just got exactly what I kind of described. Devonta's really taken over the game here late. BYU gets a couple stops. You know, it's going to be a one-possession game after this free throw.
8 for 8, 30 points for Devonta.
You know, for Nebraska, you know, last year you knew where the ball was going. It went to Bryce Williams late. You know, who's going to be that player now?
Hoiberg on the take, kick out. And Hoiberg fouled on the drive. So 17 fouls now for BYU. So Nebraska now also in the bonus. Hoiberg will head to the free throw line. Jamarcus Lawrence back in for Connor Esijan.
Yeah, I do think Coach Hoiberg has some versatility here. Lawrence comes in as a good defender. Kind of an OD substitution with Esijan.
Hoiberg knocks down the first one.
And then, you know, based on BYU playing, you know, kind of a bigger lineup, Coach Hoiberg has elected to leave both Mast and BK out on the court together. Gives Nebraska some size with Sanford as a, 6'8", 3.
Second free throw. Brings the lead back up to 5. Crowd getting loud. Saunders for 3, short. Butenjel with the rebound.
Yeah, good half-court defense by Sam Hoiberg there. Just made that really difficult.
Saunders called for the foul. 1:43 left in the second, 90-85 Nebraska, and Hoiberg going back to the free throw line here.
BYU is kind of running and doubling the basketball, taking Nebraska out of that structure.
Jared McGregor, Alexa Kostic back in for BYU. McGregor in for the first time here today for the Cougars. Missed by Hoiberg, but Huskers come away with it. 15 on the shot clock here.
Yeah, that's Nebraska's 9th offensive rebound.
4-3 and a kickball. Be Nebraska basketball.
Yeah, nice break by Nebraska. There was just 2 seconds left on the shot clock, and that'll be a 20-second reset, even though it might have saved a basket, that kick, as the Mast was pretty open under that backside block.
Hoiberg can get it set here. 1:15 left in the game, 5-point lead for Nebraska. Kick out to Sanford. Too strong on that one, BYU with the rebound. Crowd here in PBA getting loud, trying to get a stop here for the Huskers. Under a minute left to play, 5-point lead for Nebraska. Diamande with the basketball here. Kick out to Kostic. Kostic, jumper is good. 3-point lead for Nebraska, 90-87, under 50 seconds.
Yeah, tough shot by Kostic. Just got to his spot, good elevation, tough little fadeaway.
It's defended pretty well
yeah,
by
it
Nebraska.
was just a tough shot. Give him credit to cut it to one possession game. About a 18-second differential from game to shot.
7-6 on the shot clock. Butenjel, skip pass over to Lawrence for 3. Shot clock is off. Hoiberg called for the foul here. 16.8 seconds left. And again, BYU in the bonus, so they'll head to the free throw line.
So Boop is 2 of 2. He's going to get 2 here. That's Nebraska's 10th team foul.
Foul was on Hoiberg, 90-87. 16.8 seconds. Boop knocks down the first one, cuts it to 2, 90-88. Preseason into the game for Lawrence.
So Nebraska does have 3 timeouts left. Going to see some full court pressure here from BYU.
Boop cuts it to 1, 90-89. 16.8 seconds. Shot clock is off. Preseason going to inbound. Pick up to Butengel. Butengel will pull it back out and is fouled by Kostic. Throws up the 3 after the whistle. It goes in. Butengel will head to the free throw line here. What great learning moments here. This kind of situation to be able to learn from here in an exhibition game.
Yeah, it's, you know, Nebraska does a good job of breaking the press. You know, Butengel goes along. You know, BYU probably fouled the right, you know, statistically the player that they wanted to foul. Now, you know, it's going to come down to, you know, Berke making a couple free throws here, and then Nebraska being able to defend this final 14 seconds. If, you know, if Butengel misses this, then Nebraska has to be able to match.
And he misses it. So BYU calls the timeout. 10.3 seconds left. 1 point lead for Nebraska, 90-89.
I think it's interesting that coach just won 5. So, you know, it's going to be important for you play without fouling and then rebound.
Let's see what Kevin Young has drawn up here. 8 seconds left. 1 point game. Kostic for 3. No good. Loose ball, another look at it for BYU, and it is off the mark. Nebraska wins the exhibition contest with a defensive stop. 90-89.